right. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's get right to it. It's 8:28 a.m. I'm going to send up the tweets, get everybody in here. Perfect. That's sent. This one as well. Awesome. All right. Yash, good morning. Tommy Stonks, good morning. Legit Movers Chicago, good morning, my man. Damn traffic going to make me late for opening bell. Uh-oh. All right, guys. So, let's get right to it. We'll wait about 5 minutes before we get everybody to tune in here. Give them some time. Once we do that, we'll get right started here. Eric, good morning, good morning, good morning. What up? JC, good morning. Oscar, good morning. Danielle, good morning. All right, let's get this going. Interesting market last few days, that's for sure. Gonna wait a few minutes for everyone to start rolling in here. And then we should be able to get going. All of you early birds, gotta love it, gotta love it. Oh, that's my alarm going off telling me that we should have, I think, job reports number. Let's take a look here. All right, so looks like it came in a little bit better than expected. Market hasn't really moved on it though. But yeah, forecast was 1605, came in at 1593. All right. Nancy, good morning, good morning. Smash the like button. Jen Chapney, good morning. These Roblox question mark. We'll get to the Roblox. We'll get to questions that you guys may have near the end. So stick around and we'll go over some of the tickers that you guys want and we'll discuss those as well. Priscilla, good morning. Kaka, good morning, my man. Relaxing, calm sounds, guys. She's here. Eric Evans. She's on time today. Yeah, for real, man. That's funny. Alright guys, we're going to wait about 4 more minutes here. Usually at 8:35 we'll get started. We'll have everyone kind of come in here. And once everyone's here, we'll get started with the market. What we think the market may do. And then we'll go to the Qs. And then from there we'll go over to some of the free picks that we got going on for today. And then after that, we'll go over some of the questions you guys may have regarding some of the tickers that you guys want me to take a look at. Alright, but as always, if you are asking about a ticker, make sure you let me know if you're looking to buy calls or puts, and if you're looking to day trade it or buy it for long term or swing trade. Alright, yeah, so we'll wait here till 8:35. That way everybody can kind of tune in here, and then we'll get going. Cat Key, good morning, good morning. How you doing? Daryl, good morning. Sky, my man, good morning. Tony, good morning. Yusuf, good morning. DJ, hey brother, good morning. Do you use fib lines or volume profile? I kind of periodically use both. When we are at all-time highs, I do use fibs. Volume profiles is something that I also look at on a side chart. Not usually when I'm looking to day trade or whatnot. I don't really pay attention to it. I usually most use it for swing trading. To see what volume profiles we have and where the volume point of control is. Simon, good morning from Toronto. All right, so 2 more minutes here, guys, and we'll get going here. If you guys are here early with us, go ahead and smash that like button. We got about 43 viewers and only 20 likes. Let's get those to par. Let's get those to 40 likes here. Usually people start rolling in at around 8:45, 9. Some people are usually late, but it is what it is, man. Some people on the West Coast, it's hard for them to wake up early. Edgar, good morning, good morning. These nuts, Roblox, day trade, got it. So when I get to the end where I'm going to discuss some of the few tickers, I'll go over Roblox. That'll be the first one I'll take a look at, since you've already asked me about it. And if I remember, of course. Anthony, good morning. Dash, please, got calls at 120 from yesterday. Sell out, open, or wait. Ooh, you gambled. You gambled those calls. I'll take a look at it as well. Tony, if you see RSI divergence, do you typically take it? I don't really use RSI on my charts. I don't use MACDs on my charts. I'm a very price action type of guy. I think RSIs and MACDs are very delayed. But an RSI divergence could mean that there is a move to come. However, I don't pay attention to those. I'm more of a pattern guy than anything. So I haven't tested RSI divergence long enough for me to give you a confident answer on that. All right. We got about 1 more minute here. Tommy Trade, yes, I can do Walmart. Remind me again at near the end when we're going through some of the tickers that you guys want me to watch, or sorry, you guys want me to talk about, and then if you want to day trade it or swing trade it, and calls or puts. Okay. All right, got about 10 seconds here, and we'll get going. Perfect. All right, guys. So let's get started here. Yes, jobless claim numbers are out on investing.com. Actually, if you guys have the app, it tells you all of this. You can kind of take a look at it. That's how I got my information on jobless claims. So yeah, let's get right into it. So let's talk about the SPY here, guys. What happened? We sold off. Everybody was panicking on these days, and we came down and we hit these prior support areas and obviously bounced right back up. All right. We knew that when we got to this level, we were going to see some resistance close to this 50 moving average, and that's ultimately what happened before we sold off. And now we're kind of sitting at this 200 moving average. Okay, it's a good sign. We're back above the 200 moving average. If we go back, we actually have a very similar look on the SPY, which happened back in October 16th, 2020, right? Not close to the 200 moving average, but it happened near the 50 moving average where we sold off, popped back up, came back down, and then pushed up again. So similar look to what's happening here. So sell off, popping back up, coming back down, almost putting in a little bit of a double bottom here and kind of pushing back up. All right, so we have a few levels that we need to monitor today, both on the upside and the downside here. Let me put my levels back on and we can kind of go through the levels for you guys. So this is what we're looking at. All right. This 443.96 level is going to be vital. Why? Because we had clear resistance here on it yesterday, right? We broke out of that zone. Now we're coming back and we keep trying to hold above this 443.96, all right? If we lose this, we could see that pull to the 442.76 area, which again, we had all these candles pretty much close above that level yesterday. Lose that and close under that, we could see a pull to the 441 and ultimately the 440.20 level. All right, if we lose a 440.20 level, a pull to the 438 is possible, but these are the kind of levels that I'm monitoring right out of the gates. The 443.96 has to be the level we're keeping an eye on. Okay, if we're going to take a move upwards, we need to hold this 443 and get back towards this resistance area that we have at the 445.32. All right, break above that, we could see these resistance areas right here at the 446.28, and above that we go into the 448.15. Now this 448.15 level is going to be pretty much kissing right around that moving average, that 20 moving average on the daily. So if I pop back out and I show you the moving average, let me clean up this chart. Right, this moving average right here is sitting at 448.73. Right, so we could very well hit that and reject. So we'll keep an eye on that level. We put the levels back on. Here you go. So 448.50, 448.15 is going to be that 20 moving average on the daily. If we clear that, we could see the move to the 450.46 and then the 451. All right. So the key pivotal area today is going to be that 443.96. Right. We've had some price action where we've kind of just stuck in this range sideways. Even yesterday, most of the day before the FOMC minutes, we were kind of stuck at that 442 level. So ideally, I would really want to see this back above the 446.30 to get a nice direction. Or if we come back down here, you know, and chop around, we really need to lose the 442.76 to get a significant pull. Either way, we need a good direction in the market to see some movements, all right? So I'm going to pop back out. We're going to go to the Qs. Take a note of where the market is, the SPY is, and let's go into the Qs here so you guys can understand the difference here. All right, so, you know, we've obviously seen relative weakness in tech sector, okay? Very similar look to what's going on with the SPY. However, we are under the 200 moving average. So that's definitely something to make note of, okay? So going into the Qs here, we are under the 200 moving average. This 20 moving average is sitting at 359.50. And also we have some resistance at 359.90. So let's take a look here. What are the levels that we're looking at in regards to the Qs? So the Qs, very similar look. All right, let me put the levels back up here. All right, we're waiting for this 353 level to see what we're going to do at this 353.78. Okay, if we can hold above this, great. We'll see the pushes back into these resistance areas. But what really gets interesting is if we clear this 356 level to the upside. All right, if we can clear this 356 level to the upside, great. Then we can look to push towards this 358 and then that key 200 moving average sitting at 359. All right, so that's going to be an area on the daily chart that we're going to see that moving average, which could act as a little bit of a resistance before we actually get through that. All right, and if we get through that, the next level on top would be 360.48. Right now, if we do sell off at the open and fail to hold that level, if we see, you know, names like Apple, Nvidia, all these big names, Microsoft pulling out of the open, then we could see the pull down to this area of 352.30. You can see that area right here, resistance, prior support. Broke down, new resistance under the 352.35, then we get that yank to the 351.48 and ultimately the 350.75. This area is going to be vital on the Qs. If we lose this area, we're going to open up for pulls down to the 348. So I'm really worried to see what we're going to do at this level. We would definitely want this level to hold if we don't want further sell-off in the Qs to kind of take place. All right. So with that said, we took care of the market analysis here. I'm going to jump onto Twitter and come up with, I've already posted the 3 tickers that I want you guys to take a look at as far as the day trading one goes. So the first one on the list is DKNG. I want DKNG under 2260. So this 2260 level is yesterday's support level. We can see that right here, right? That 2260 is yesterday's support level. If we lose that, we could see a nice pull down to this 2225, which is actually support level from yesterday. And if under that, we could come down to these areas right here of 2203. All right, so if we break that out of the open, I'll be buying puts coming down to this 2203 level. Now on the upside, the level that I'm looking at here is the 2320, right? 2320 area right here, right? This is yesterday's little pivot high. We need to get above that in order to push back to these highs of 2360, and then we can ultimately, you know, take profits on the way up and then see where we go from there. Okay, but those are the 2 levels that I'm watching, and it looks like it's about to break here. Okay, now a lot of you guys ask me, hey, you know, when do I take these triggers? Do I wait? Do I wait for a 5-minute candle to close? Do I wait for a 20-minute candle to close? What's the game plan here? And like I've explained a lot of the times, if it's within the first 5-10 minutes and the stock kind of opens up and kind of consolidates here in the first 5 minutes, if this snaps, I'm taking the trigger right here at this level, right? I'm not waiting for this to kind of close a candle, close a 5-minute candle. If it's in the first 5 minutes and that snaps, I'm taking that trade right there and getting in on this IV spike that we're going to get to collect those premiums on the downside. Okay, this move right here could be a very quick short move, but your IV is going to jump up and your premiums are going to jump up quick enough where you can take 20% very clearly or very quickly. All right, now let's say, you know, 10-15 minute goes by, 20 minute goes by, and the stock is kind of consolidating, going up and down, and then it comes down to here. Now what do you do? Do you take the trade again right as it triggers? No. If about 45 minutes to an hour has gone by, what you're looking for is this breakdown and retest. Once it gets to that retest, that's when you want to take that trigger right over there on the retest, and then you take it down from there all the way to the downside. Okay, so within the first 5 minutes, you take the trigger as it comes. If it's a little bit of a higher risk move for you, then obviously you could wait and see if something else pans out. But otherwise, that's the kind of way I take these alerts. All right, next one is MU. So MU has a pretty good, interesting chart here on the daily, kind of setting up on a 3-bar play. If we take a look at it, we have this nice explosive move up. We have him pull back that goes less than 50% of the way down, pushing back up, and we have this clear resistance at this 96.50 level. All right, so if we go into the 15-minute time frame again, this 96.50 level is going to be the level that I'm looking to take the triggers to the upside, 96.50. All right, ideally that's what I'm looking for on MU. Don't really want to trade it on the downside, but if we do get this push out here at the 96.50 and explode, we could get a push to the 98.45, as that's going to be the all-time highs on the ticker. And that's what I'm looking at. Again, same thing here. First 5 minutes, we're going to take the breakout trade and ride the wave up and collect those juicy premiums, right? Now, if we get back under the 95, which we can see we have some prior resistance here. We chopped around on it yesterday, but nice support in the pre-market here. Low volume, but if we can get under the 95, then we could see a sell-off to 94.20 and then 93.50, right? So watching for this. Ideally, again, I want this over that 96.50 to get that 3-bar play to trigger on the daily. Open here, looking at open on the daily, we have a little bit of an inside day. Watching open here for the 11:30 breakout. All right, we have this little resistant high from yesterday at 11:30. If we can break out over this, we should see the pushes back to 11:50, and then ultimately 1176 is the next area that I have some resistance at. All right, if we get under the 1110, which is this area right here, this little pivot low in the pre-market, we lose that, we could see a sell off to the 1090 and then ultimately that 1075 area, which is yesterday's low and also lines up with this 200 moving average. All right, so that's as far as the 3 free alerts goes. Now, if you guys have any questions in regarding to some of the tickers you guys want me to take a look at, let me know, but please remember to post whether you're looking to day trade it or swing trade it, and if it's on the long side or short side. Somebody asked me about Roblox, so I'm going to take a look at this. If we take a look at the Roblox daily chart, this 53.60 level is a key area. All right, this was a pivot low on it. The earnings came down, and we kind of hit that level and held most of the day, right? So if you're looking to kind of day trade this, what are you looking at? You have to kind of pay attention to that 53.60 level. If we snap that, or in fact, even better, if we snap the 53 whole number, we could see a sell-off on this name continue to happen as more selling pressure is taking place. Lots of people in this name are now kind of buried, all right? If we take a look at the all-time chart, right, this low of 60 bucks, that's where the IPO low was. Everybody who chased the stock up here into these levels is now buried. Now everybody in this stock is red. Everybody is red on the stock. So you're going to have to kind of put yourself into the minds of a trader and understand that if we get under the 53 level, you're going to get a lot more people that are starting to panic sell and are going to exit their position, right? Other than that, you could try to take this pivot high in the pre-market level, that 55 level, for a push to this next pivot high, which is 56, and then ultimately the 57. I personally would wait to see if there's some sort of a reversal pattern that presents itself. Then you can take the reversal trade for a push back up to these 57 levels. Otherwise, if 53 snaps to the downside, you can trade it to the downside. All right. DJ, hit the like button. This guy does this for free every Thursday. Yeah, appreciate you guys. Yeah, if you guys are here still, go ahead and smash the like button. I'll be taking more of your questions now. I think somebody else mentioned Dash. And they asked what to do. So I think with Dash, guys, you know, if you traded this, I don't trade earnings as much anymore because they're straight gambles, and I've really tried to stay away from them because it's a 50-50 draw on these. If you guys did buy calls and you're up on them, congratulations, but always understand you should take very small size with earnings. And the level that I was kind of paying attention on Dash here was this 117.34. It's a prior area of support resistance. Held it very well, but once we broke that, we could see this pull come back down to the 110.05. For the gentleman that asked me, should you sell at open, you got to ask yourself, do you have tomorrow's expiry? If so, theta is going to chew you away literally every hour. So do you want to hold that even longer? you've bought calls down here at 93. The stock is sitting at 115. Depending on how much the IV was and how much you're up, I would definitely say take your profits, simply because what you did was a gamble on earnings, and you should really take what the market has given you so far. All right, let's go into the next one here. Good morning. How do you tell retest or reversal? How do you tell if it's a retest or reversal? So that's a good question. Usually a lot of the times when we get a level that's, for example, this is the level that we're monitoring. Okay, let's keep an eye on this. All right, and you have price action that's kind of going like this, right? And then it snaps. So what you need to pay attention to is these volume bars. If this level breaks on increasing volume, right, and you have a massive volume spike, when this level breaks, that's usually your first sign that the level breaks. And then when you're coming back to retest, you want the retest on lower volume, right? If that retest happens on lower volume, that's your confirmation that it's going to be a good retest, and you're going to see that rejection at that level and then continue lower. Okay, now if this retest kind of happens and you're seeing increased buying volume again, right, you're seeing increased buying volume at the retest, then it's something to kind of be wary of, because we could very easily push back up and it could be a little fake breakdown that can happen, and then you can ultimately move up to the upside. So you really have to pay attention to the volume bars as well as your levels to understand if that's going to be an official retest or something that's going to fake you up. Someone's asking about Walmart day trade. Before I get into Walmart, what value of delta you like for options? Anywhere from 0.45 to 0.55 is the value of options that I like to look at. Tommy, Walmart day trade. So Walmart's going to be very high in IV since they had earnings this morning. Pretty wild action, jumped up to 138, pulling back down here. Don't really see anything on this. Would pretty much prefer this to yank back down under the 133, 132.89, and then you can see the sell-off happen on it. But on the upside, I'm not really interested, as it could get pretty choppy going back to that 137 level. All right, so keep an eye on it. Preferably under this 132.89 support, opens it up for 129. That's kind of what I'll be paying attention to. Otherwise, I think there's some other plays out there that are going to be better with low implied volatility that you can kind of take advantage of. Home Depot swing. So, HD. To me, the market is still not stable enough to take a swing trade. All right, we're seeing a lot of gap ups, gap down. Too much news can affect the market right now. People are waiting for the first sign of interest rates, and anything like that can really affect the market. What's going on with Ukraine and Russia, you really want to be careful to put on swing trades with big size. Okay, but as far as this chart goes, looks like we've hit a bottom at this 345.69. We bounced up and we're coming back down to that area to see if we can hold this level. All right, a little bit of a hammer here, getting back above that 200 moving average. On a risk to reward basis, you could take this trade right here or buy calls and have stops right under that 344 level, and have that kind of your stop and take this trade to the upside. Okay, you have essentially what's happening here. You have this double bottom hitting, and if you take this trade right here, you could get that move to this moving average right here, and then into these congestion areas right here. So from this area right here to this area, you could get a pretty juice in premium. That's something you could take advantage of. Is Fubo reversing? Not sure if seeing this right, but the daily shows a bearish triangle. Let's take a look at Fubo. So definitely don't see a don't see a reversal pattern on here. If anything, I'm seeing this little rising wedge happen on a lot of tickers, and we're coming into these moving averages, right? So you have to pay attention to what's going on here. If this stock gets back above this level, it could try to reverse into this 50-day moving average, right? But this pattern that you're looking at right now, you're right, it is a falling wedge. It is a bearish pattern. We could see this sell-off happened, popped up here, 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 here. Now, if we break that and go to the downside, that's when that move continues. But pay attention, there's earnings coming up. So if you're going to trade this, understand when earnings is and be able to get out before that, because holding through earnings is going to be obviously a 50-50 gamble. Victor is asking about BA calls at open. Director bought shares of at market value. What are the upside pivots? All right, so let's take a look at BA. BA daily chart, coming into that resistance line at that 200 moving average, rejected it there. So an area to kind of pay attention to. Let's take a look at the 15-minute time frame. Trying to buy calls. All right, so this is what I would pay attention to on BA. Okay, you need to get above that 219.50 level. All right, if you get above that 219.50 level, take a look at what we got. This pivot high right here, 221.47, and then you got that 223.79 or 223.20, right? So with BA to buy calls, you'd have to wait for that 229.50 level to break to the upside. Then you get a nice chunk of move. You can take advantage of the 21.47 and then 23.79. All right, Tesla levels to day trade. All right, Tesla not really in the best area to kind of day trade. I would only day trade Tesla over the 930 level. If it gets over that 930 level, great. Then you can kind of take trades on this and push it towards that 944. But otherwise, I wouldn't get involved on Tesla. It needs to clear this 930 level on the daily. There's a little pivot right there. If you get over that, then you can look for the move to this 944 level. That's going to be a big area of resistance there until the 947, 950 psychological whole number. And above that, you got room to 986. Okay, so the trigger would be 930, push to 944, 950 area. And above the 950 area is when it really opens up for that 40-point move to 986. All right, what time frame are you looking to day trade? So with my day trading, I start from the big time frame. I start from the daily. I make sure there's not much resistance on the way in the daily. Then I get down to the 1 minute, 2 minute, 5 minute that I'm actually trading on. Nvidia day trade, please. All right. Guys, if you guys are still here, go ahead and smash the like button. I would greatly appreciate it. Let's get those likes up. All right, so let's take a look at the daily chart on Nvidia. So a nice little hammer here. Ideally, I would have wanted this for a 3-bar place setup, okay? But, if we can get this over yesterday's high, we do have room to push to this 270, which is a 50-day moving average, and then the 272 is a big area of resistance that's going to be facing this, okay? So let's take a look here. It did have earnings today, so IV will probably be a little bit through the roof. And if you're going to choose tomorrow's expiry with high IV, you're going to be in a lot of trouble in regards to your options decaying a lot quicker than you could anticipate. But not good price action in regards to the earning play, right? Lots of calls and puts got burnt on this move. And I'd really pay attention to see what it's going to do if it gets under this 255 level. This nice support here in the pre-market, lose that, we could see a flush down to the 248. On the upside, not really interested on the upside, probably maybe over that 267 level. Then you can look to push it to the 272. But again, not really interested simply because of the high IV and the fact that it's very choppy here in the pre-market. Facebook day trade. Facebook, let's take a look at the Facebook daily chart. Pushed up nicely here. Yesterday, let's take a look. Yesterday, I had some news about calling its employees meta buddies or something. I'm not really sure what the terminology was. I forget. But on Facebook here, got a couple of key areas to pay attention to. Under this 213.75, 213.70 level, we could see that flush back down to the 212 and ultimately the 207. Okay, if we get above 216.75, 217 level, we could see a push back up to this 220. Those are the two levels that I would pay attention to. Again, you can see clear resistance right here and clear support right here. So break either one of that direction will send it to the correct way that it wants to go. That's what I meant, wedge. PLTR day trade to the downside. All right, so PLTR, again, another earnings play. IV is going to be through the roof. If you guys are looking to trade tomorrow's expiry, your premiums are going to get smoked. And I think let me take a look at the daily chart here. So a little bit of a rising wedge there. We got under that 13 level. Stock is sitting at around 1250. 1250. I think you gotta be a little careful with this one. The stock is obviously super extended to the downside, and I would pay attention to this 1224 level. We can see that we kind of bounced at it. If we get under the 1224 level, we could see further sell-off. Otherwise, look for some sort of a pattern to kind of present itself at this level for maybe a reversal. Otherwise, you need to get under that 1220. Then you can take it down to the $12 area and then further down. Now, you got to understand with these sub $20 stocks, the move right here from $12.20 to $12 is almost a 2% move, right? So, you know, given that if the IV is going to be high, 2% move is still fairly good. If it was a day with no earnings, that 2% move on options should pay very well. But again, IV is a little high here, so you really have to be careful, especially with the puts. The put IV is going to be even higher with this big sell-off here. AMD day trade over 119. AMD day trade over 119. Not a bad idea here with your 119 level. Pretty good pivot resistance here yesterday on 119. Clears that day's resistance as well. I'm not too against this one right here over the 119. Yeah, then you have room to kind of push towards this 122 level. Okay. So yeah, if it gets above the 119, you could take that trade. But one thing you need to kind of pay attention here, you can't take this trigger right at that level. Why? Because we are put in a position where the stock is sitting at 115.61. If this decides to make its way all the way up to 119, this is going to be a very extended move to the upside. So you're going to need some sort of a pattern to present here, or you're going to need the level to kind of break out and retest and then continue higher. But do not take the move blindly straight as it comes up. As it makes its way up here, it's going to be very extended. It went from 115 to 119. If you take the trade here into resistance, you risk this kind of rolling over and coming back all the way down and stopping you out on your position. So wait for some sort of a pattern to present itself. All right, guys, thank you guys all for tuning in. It is 9 a.m. If I did miss your questions, don't worry. You could ask me a question on Twitter or Discord, wherever you guys can find me. I do answer all my questions. If you guys did stick around, make sure you go ahead and smash that like button. And remember, every Thursday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I do go live, come here, discuss the markets, some of the free alerts, and answer some of the questions you guys may have, just to kind of help you guys out. Yeah, so we'll catch you guys all next week. I got to get back into the room and get ready for market open, and hopefully we have a good directional move today. Make sure you guys are all staying safe, and don't force trades when the market's kind of going sideways and getting choppy, all right? Appreciate every single one of you guys. Thank you, and we'll catch you next week at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Have a good one.